Welcome, walkers. I am 20-sided die, and let's roll. Welcome to my first video. In this one, we rolled a 12, which means we'll be talking about thoughts and opinions on a particular card. This card came from Commander Legends and made the whole Magic community worry about the power of it. No, I'm not on about you, Jude Lotus. I mean a card less narrow. Yes, I'm talking about Opposition Agent. So let's go over this scary card. It's a 3/2 for 2 and a black. Human rogue with flash. You control your opponents while they're searching their libraries. While an opponent is searching their library, they exile each card they find. You may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any colour to cast them. You get extra flashy points if it's in foil. Notice, it says you only control them when they search their libraries. So, when they're searching, you can look at their hand, choose not to take anything, but why would you when there's so much value to be had? And if you're feeling extra generous, if they have it, you can also cast their Panglacial Wurm. I have seen lots of people worrying about Opposition Agent ruining games of Magic. Their reasoning being that it'll be a massive blowout for people using minor ramp cards such as Wayfarer's Bauble, and that it is a feel-bad card. To me, Opposition Agent isn't a card that ruins games. I believe it'll have the opposite effect, where it makes games more fair and balanced. Imagine this scenario, where one player ramps ahead massively, and they'll be targeted for the rest of the game. It feels bad for the ramp player and also the other players who are trying to keep up. Opposition Agent will stop those feel-bad moments where you see your opponent ramping ahead, and the potential of it will deter the ramp player from going as fast as possible to get all their lands out. It will also deter players from keeping risky mana-light hands in case they get blown out. I honestly believe that Opposition Agent is a good card for Magic. I believe this because it is a card designed to stop land ramp strategies before they get all their lands onto the battlefield, hitting them right in the acceleration. The vast majority of land ramp strategies have one thing in common: they search. This is a new style to counter land ramp strategies. To me, this shows that Wizards are keen to develop new strategies to counter strong decks. Originally, these type of effects were prison strategies, but they tended to be too slow for ramp decks. So it is promising to see that effects that completely shut down searching are being made cheaper. Yes, there are cards such as Aven Mindsensor, which slow down tutoring, but they don't stop it completely. And yes, there are effects such as Shadow of Doubt, which shut down searching, but are only a one-time use, which is no good for continuous ramp decks. The usual counter, which is mass land destruction, is frowned upon in most groups and is so inefficient it is a strategy used by the land ramp decks to win. An added benefit is that it also stops people from trying to combo off as fast as possible by just searching for the combo pieces. Opposition Agent brings back variety to games and ensures that the singleton rule of Commander is followed. As is usually the case, there are cards that benefit from this effect. Cards such as Path to Exile and Ghost Quarter, where you remove their permanent and they may search. But there are cards that Opposition Agent does break. Cards such as Scheming Symmetry and Field of Ruin. But the one it breaks most of all is Marlin the Mornsong. Let's go over Marlin the Mornsong to see how Opposition Agent breaks her. So she's a 2/3 elf wizard, legendary, for 1 double black. Players can't draw cards. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player loses 3 life, searches their library for a card, puts it into their hand, then shuffles their library. The fact that you can have Marlin the Mornsong as your commander and tutor for Opposition Agent makes it a very broken strategy to lock everyone out of the game. However, having this interaction possible in a game will ensure that players have more answers to various cards and won't be as glass cannony as they want to be. As is to be expected, fetches will be affected. Due to the prices of most fetches, there is a correlation between budget and how much this will affect the player. Because of this correlation, it will act as a leveler making games more fair and balanced regardless of price. In my opinion, it'll have an interesting effect on competitive Commander. One way it could impact competitive Commander is by making a new archetype forcing people to search. It is likely to slow down competitive Commander because it forces players to get their combos or answers naturally by drawing. In casual Commander, I can see that there will be very little impact, and I foresee the controller of Opposition Agent to ignore its effects to allow their friends to continue being part of the game. There has been some discussion on how Opposition Agent will affect Eternal formats. For Legacy, it could either be a gotcha card like Notion Thief is, or a really powerful effect. Only time will tell, but I know that I'm definitely trying to brew a rogues deck with it. With my limited knowledge of Vintage, I feel it is a shoo-in for Grixis Thieves decks. Let me know your thoughts on Opposition Agent in the comments below. As always, I'm 20-sided die, and until next time, keep on spinning.